relief side of things, I really enjoyed seeing him as a reliever last year, and he had a quite few amount of relief appearances last year, especially at the end of the season, where everyone knew, okay, the starting rotation had its own people, and Brett Anderson was included last year, Homer Bailey was included last year, and then you had Mike Fiers, then you wanted to try out Jesus Luzardo, who was kind of coming out in the bullpen, but you kind of expected him, if the A's got deep into the playoffs, to him being a starter in any of the situation, kind of seeing that little Sonny Gray type of thing. Manaea was a lock in rotation as well, and you were not going to use Montas last year, but Chris Bassitt was one of those guys that was a lock in the bullpen last year, because they wanted him to basically use his best stuff, and he has really, really great stuff, and I think he is knowing how to attack and approach hitters, and he's really smart in that perspective. And I think Chris Bassitt is going to enjoy a great 2020 season. And I think the relief side of him is going to be a great side that we have never seen Bassitt go through before. And we all remember he's been with us for a while. He's been with us since 2015. We all remember that for Chris Bassitt. It was pretty great. You know, that's that Jeff Samardzija trade that we all remember. Michael Ynoa went with him, and we eventually re-signed with us this offseason. So welcome back, Michael Ynoa. But we traded away Jeff Samardzija and Michael Ynoa at first in 2015 or 2014 or 2015, around there, in the during that off season, heading into the 2015 season, and we got Chris Bassitt as one of the few pieces that we got back in that Chicago White Sox trade, and really, really, really have enjoyed having Chris Bassitt in the Oakland A's in general. So it's really exciting to see what he can do. And for the little I saw him in the relief appearances last year and last season, at the end, it really gave me high hopes, and hopefully he can be one of those guys that can be just shut down guys. And he's been one of those guys that's just been fill-in type of dude in the rotation. Every time that someone got hurt or something, it seemed like they just threw him in there. And hopefully he can just be in the relief side of things and just have consistency and throwing in situations where he can be consistent and he can know that he's going to be there. And I think that's where he is excited for this opportunity, because he will finally have his spot where people will not move him, because he is allowed to do what Chris Bassitt does. That's throwing nasty pitches. So really excited to see what Chris Bassitt has for 2020. But here in passing up the pitching side of things, we're going to try to speed things up here because this is only a 30-minute show. One of the locks in position players is Sean Murphy. Murphy is the starting catcher. He is going to be the starting catcher for a long time, as long as he throws in a consistent bat and does incredible things behind the plate. And that is exactly why the Oakland A's want Sean Murphy. He calls a great game. He's great defensively, one of the best defensive catchers out there. And a lot of people don't know it yet. So we're going to see what Sean Murphy can do in a full year. And what the A's have done for the backup role. They dumped Shaw Fegley. They didn't re-sign Dustin Garneau. And they just let go of Bo Taylor as well. 3 backup catchers that can debatably be good backup catchers for this team. But instead, the Oakland Athletics decide to trade away Jurickson Profar, and they decide to get Austin Allen and Buddy Reed in a trade. So Buddy Reed is out of the catcher conversation, but Austin Allen is a left-handed catcher who can also play first base and also pitch hit. He's another left-handed bat which probably we need, because there's not that many aside from Matt Olson and Robbie Grossman. But this is one thing that is most exciting about this little catching predicament. There is two good names in the catcher conversation, for at least the backup catcher conversation. One of them is Austin Allen, the one I'm just talking about, and Jonah Heim. Two really, really good young prospects that the Oakland A's have in their system to back up an already great Sean Murphy. Now, Sean Murphy had an incredible, and many people can say inconsistent, but it was an incredible taste of what we're going to get for the future. He hit 2 home runs against Houston in that little intense series, I remember, in Houston, and he is one of those guys that's going to be really, really exciting to see. And a lot of people are going to know Sean Murphy by the time 2020 ends, hopefully. But the one thing that I do see in Sean Murphy is being injured quite often. And that's where Jonah Heim comes in. I think Austin Allen will get the call as being the backup catcher for opening day, just because he's a lone lefty while Jonah Heim switch hits. Jonah Heim is an incredible third option for Oakland. And he would be a second option, or if not, a starter for any other team. But the Oakland Athletics got him in there. He's a switch hitter, like I said. But these two, it's a good situation to have. It's a good problem to have. I mean, having two guys that are good with the bat, because Austin Allen is tremendous with the bat, and he's shown it in 3 years in the minors. Last year, hitting above 20 home runs and batting above 290 in the last 3 years in the minors. He had a little taste in the major leagues with the San Diego Padres before that big trade over the offseason with Jurickson Profar. But he hasn't really hit in the big league level as much. This is where he can get his at-bats. Austin Allen being the left-handed hitter, it's going to be interesting. And he can probably be utilized as a super utility player. You already know what Bob Melvin gives about super utility players. And he is definitely going to be tested. I don't know if he's going to sit down Matt Olson, because that's the only other position that he knows how to play in position-wise. But we all seen Stephen Vogt. There was a time where he played right field, and then you can see a little of Stephen Vogt in Austin Allen, I guess. But hopefully he will do great with the opening day spot if he's chosen. But I think he's the clear-cut favorite to be backup catcher for Sean Murphy, and I think that's a pretty darn good one. And if not, Jonah Heim, another guy who's shown high praise of hitting with the minor leagues last year, hitting above 300. And this is a little taste of what they've done in spring training so far. Jonah Heim in 12 at-bats has had 4 hits, 1 double, batted .333 in batting average, and .429 in on-base percentage. Austin Allen has had 18 at-bats, 6 hits, 1 homer, 3 RBIs, and batted .333 batting average. And same with the on-base percentage, as he hasn't had a walk yet, or hasn't been hit by a pitch. But these two are basically battling things out. Jonah Heim hasn't had a home run. Austin Allen has. Both are batting .333. One has had a walk, which is Jonah Heim with .429 on base percentage. One hasn't. So there's a lot of things going to be tested, and I think defensively, Jonah Heim is the better defender, as he has a great arm and he has a great frame and stuff. Austin Allen is kind of more not in the mix as a great defensive catcher, but he is going to be a great offensive catcher if he can figure things out in the major leagues and get his swing in. And this is what the A's are. The A's are getting young talent, guys that have potential in certain things, and going to use that as years go by. And hopefully Austin Allen or Jonah Heim would step up and really put it into play of how good they can be and really contribute for 2020 season for the Oakland Athletics. Now, the 3 positions that I'm going to just go on and not really talk as much, because we already know what to expect with them. Matt Olson, who was started off last year in 2019 with the injury, And now he is going to be a starter. The whole team changed when Matt Olson came back last year. We all remember the A's were not doing that great before Matt Olson came back. He comes back. The A's start winning again. Matt Olson is one of the more important parts of the Oakland A's, period, in general. And I think Matt Olson is going to be great for 2020 and finally be given a full season. And hopefully, let's see what he can do in a full season, and already being recognized as one of the best, if not the best, first basemen in baseball. Let's see what he can do and how he can answer to that. Another two positions, Marcus Semien had a historic season, and he was chanted MVP last year, or not last year, in this A's Fan Fest. He is a favorite in the clubhouse. He's a favorite with the fans. He's a fan favorite, and I think he will do tremendously great. He was already a Gold Glove candidate last year, and actually the last 2 years, as he just went from being one of the worst defensive players to one of the best defensive players in his position. And Marcus Semien hopefully can repeat on that. And Matt Chapman as well. Matt Chapman already got 2 Gold Gloves under his name, 1 Silver Glove. It's just incredible. Matt Chapman is just Matt Chapman. Those are the 3 locks in the infield. The big question mark in the infield, which is biggest debate of this show today, is going to be who's going to play second base. Okay. Let me go the rest of this roster because it's going to be quick to discuss this. But I got Chris Davis being the DH, as people already tell that I'm excited for Chris Davis, because let's see if he can repeat the 40-a-year homers and bat 247 like he has before. And he's confident. He wants it. He really wants it. He's fully healthy, and let's see what he's got. Robbie Grossman is going to be the left fielder, in my opinion. You can also put Chad Pinder in there. Well, we'll see. Ramon Laureano is going to be the center fielder, but it could be that he can be the right fielder if he needs to be, and Canna is going to be center field. It can be either or, because Canna does play better in center field than he does right field, and Ramon Laureano isn't too bad of a right fielder either. So we'll see what's going to happen. But those are the locks in the outfield. And here comes the big question. Who, where, and how is going to be second base? Well, we did acquire Tony Kemp. Tony Kemp is one of those guys that are going to be in the situation for second base. He can also play outfield. And he started off as an outfielder, and then he transitioned to a second baseman. Doesn't play too bad at second base. But Tony Kemp is noted as an outfielder, and I didn't mention him in the outfield spot in this roster simply because he can play multiple positions. He's going to be one of those speed utility guys. But the other thing is, you have 3 other options that need to be on the roster, or else they're going to be potentially taken away by another team. And this is what I mean. Franklin Barreto, who was the big name in that Josh Donaldson trade that we all remember and all love, he is going to be tested this season, because this is basically his last shot with Oakland. Not last shot in general in the MLB, but it's his last shot in Oakland. See what he can do in an Oakland A's uniform. Former top prospect of the Oakland Athletics, hasn't had a time where he has been pretty good for the Oakland Athletics. Has really struggled offensively, but he's always had those tools to be great. He's out of options in 2020, and so is another former top prospect of his previous organization with the New York Yankees, Jorge Mateo. Another great player, another player with great tools, and he could be great and show his worth, is out of options in 2020 as well. So those two are expected to make the roster. So what I have is Barreto Mateo being in second base and Tony Kemp being in outfield.